It's a beautiful sunny day today, a Wednesday in April. This is what the garden looks like. As you can see, plants are coming up. The hostas are starting to show. Daffodils are blooming. And the grass is getting greener. It's really nice. Well, good morning and welcome to Catherine's Garden. It's so good to see you this morning. I just decided to go on out. It's around 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30. And just take a look at the garden and see what's happening. I received this hyacinth bulb from a good friend, and at first it only had one shoot of flowers. Then the next thing I noticed that a second one developed. So isn't it beautiful? I got two for the price of one. Real pretty. And I hope you enjoyed this little tour of the garden, looking at the daffodils and what's growing in the garden. A couple of years back, I planted these daffodils. I believe that they're ice folly daffodils, and they're one of the daffodils that come up early in the spring here in the Northeast. And they are very beautiful. I love them because in the center of the daffodil, it's yellow, and then around it, the white petals, the petals are white. And it is really, really beautiful here in the garden. Now over here are the trumpet, I think, daffodils. I don't really remember the name of them. But that's the standard look of daffodils there, the yellow ones. These daffodils tend to come out a little later in the spring. However, I think because that spot, it receives a lot more sunlight and warmth from the bird bath. So that's why that group of bulbs have bloomed a little quicker or sooner. But these are really pretty. So last year in September, I got some daffodil bulbs. And I planted them here. And they are coming up and blooming and opening up. They look really beautiful with the variegated grass. And as you can see, some of the hostas are starting to come up as well. You can see the tips of the hosta. As I said before, this particular daffodil tends to come up first before the yellow, the plain yellow daffodils. By the way, here are some tulips showing their leaves that I had planted around the same time. And here is my Asian pear tree. You can see some of the leaves about to open up. But looking at this, I think it's very pretty how this came out. I like it. It's very attractive. As I said, here my peach tree is starting to bud. Looks like it wants to leaf out too. So it's going to be really pretty here. And then of course the hostas are peeking out. I also have my apple tree here, which is beginning to leaf out as well. These daffodils are really attractive. The rest of the garden is starting to formulate as well, and I still have some garden cleanup to do, but overall it's looking pretty good. These here are my alliums that I planted last year, and they are recurring. They're coming back. I also planted some of the daffodils here, and then I also planted them around here with my bunny. Easter is on Sunday, so it's really timely that the daffodils are blooming now around the Easter season with my little bunny in the garden. A lot of plants are starting to bloom, starting to poke their heads up, and the garden is beginning to become alive. My apple tree that I purchased from Lowe's is starting to leaf out. And here is the other one. I'm happy to see that there's some activity with the both of them. That's very encouraging. My rose bush, Westerland, that I purchased from Home Depot is now starting to leaf out. It's growing. Now over here I planted some peonies, and they're still very small, but they're leafing out too. Look at this small piece there, and this one over here. Eventually, hopefully, they will grow tall, I guess. hopefully in my lifetime. But I just wanted to give you an update on my rose bush climber that I got from Home Depot a couple of weeks back. The previous owner planted these bulbs in the ground, and each year they come up. First the crocus come up, and then this flower is next, and then these. I don't know what they're called, but they're beautiful ground cover, and they seem to spread, which is nice. Right here are the daylilies, and then I have the wild violets coming up here. They're going to soon have flower. So this is a really nice little patch of flowers, spring flowering bulbs, along with the hostas, which are starting to poke up. And then I have some ivy trailing there. The pansies and violas are holding up well, and I'm starting to see some of the tulips forming here. You see the bud forming on the tulips? I'm soon going to have color. Isn't that pretty? I love how the light shines through the leaves. Very pretty. This is really looking glorious in the morning sun. Well, I had my begonias. And I decided to save them last year, and now they are starting to come up. I potted and planted them in, and they're starting to show. Now I put them on the deck here, and I've covered them up with this plastic cover so that they can keep warm, and at nighttime I cover them up with this old towel so that they will not freeze, and they seem to be doing all right here. I'm going to show you what they looked like last year, and I've purchased them from Roberta's Garden, and the bulbs are returning. So I just planted them the way that they gave the instructions to plant them, and hopefully, well, I see progress, so I'm very happy. As I said, you can see it there, and also here. So that's very encouraging. Well, spring is here. You can hear the birds chirping, and they are creating their nests and having fun. So it's a good thing. and I'm happy to be outside. It's a little chilly, about 40, 45 right now, but it should be warming up to 60 degrees here in Boston in my Zone 6 garden. I started these watermelon seeds because I was anxious. You may call me a little crazy, but I started them in this container. They're the Sugar Baby watermelon, and this is what they look like. Now, I have been transporting them back and forth from inside to outside, and I put this cover on them like this. So that they can stay warm, and I'm putting them outside on the deck. And that way they would get sunlight and hopefully grow up straight. Now, if I only gain a few plants, I'm going to be happy with that. If something leaves out, I'll be so happy. Oh, there's a blue jay here. Let me see if I can find him. He had a twig. There he is. Oh, let's see if I can find him. I don't see him anymore. But with this watermelon, I planted the seeds April 3rd, started them in the house. Oh, there he is. Do you see him? This is a blue jay. Anyway, I started these from seed April 3rd, and this is what I have here. Hopefully they will continue. And this is my hyacinths. And that's it. Well, I hope that you'll have a great day, and see you next time in Catherine's garden. Bye. Remember to subscribe to Lady Wisdom Speaks Academy on YouTube. Be blessed.